software. We're going to be introducing the Open Source Geospatial Foundation at first, and then we're going to talk about the application Geo Repository in Open Build Service. So let's start with Open Source Geospatial Foundation, which is a non-profit umbrella for open source geospatial software, and it also it's specialized in education projects and also concerned about open data. The Open Source Geospatial Foundation is a non-profit organization, and the mission is to promote and help development of open source geospatial software around the world. The foundation is providing not only financial support, but also legal support and infrastructures for the several geospatial communities. The foundation is trying to make sure that every project that is under the umbrella is it's freely available and usable under an open source license, and currently seeking a non-profit legal status in the United States. So, besides trying to provide resources for open source geospatial projects, OSGeo is also trying to promote open source software in geospatial industry, which is maps are around the world right now, and everybody's using maps and everybody's using geospatial data. And one of OSGeo's goals is to promote also the widespread use of open data and trying to bring in quality in geospatial open source projects and make sure that this quality is going to preserve, and so the OSGeo is going to make a brand to support this kind of quality. Also, the OSGeo is trying to encourage communication between projects and between several communities, and not only between different programming languages like Java, C, Python, but also trying to promote the software between several operating systems. We are operating an annual conference, which for this year is going to be in Nottingham, UK, and all the major projects of OSGeo, as well as many companies and universities are going to be attending there. So OSGeo is some sort of an organization that tries to incubate new projects and make them official OSGeo projects in order to make sure that they are working as expected. And there are several bodies that are working under the OSGeo umbrella in order to make the goals be feasible. So we have board of directors, which are elected from charter members. Charter members are contributors to open source projects that are well respected or they are recognized among the community. Also, we have the members who are all the users, all the community, and we're trying to support local chapters. So in every country or in every region, we have local communities that are developed and working together for open source geospatial software. Now, another chapter that I want to introduce is the OGC. OGC stands for Open Geospatial Consortium, which is the equivalent of W3C for geospatial. So it's an organization that includes 478 companies, government agencies, and universities, all participating and trying to make standards. And standards are very important in geospatial work too, especially when we have different types of data that need to be presented into the same map and in an interoperable way. So the standards promote the technology, and the developers are making sure that complex geospatial data are going to be accessible and useful with all kinds of software and applications. Also, this is a good way of making your applications future-proof. So, meaning if you are implementing an OGC standard, then in the future you know that this is going to be supported and that you're not going to have your data just not usable by future projects. So, as in open source in general, we have been doing well in the last couple of years, or maybe the last decade. So, geospatial applications are doing very well, especially on the web. You can find maps almost in many applications that you use every day on the web, apart from the commercial ones, and this is reflected in major portals and in national spatial data infrastructures around the world. But as with all open source, we are still not doing very well on desktop, where we have commercial applications still having the market share. But also we have been introducing some new projects in the mobile area too. So what are the big wins for open source geospatial? We have two major wins. First of all, we have the Inspire Directive, which is a directive of the European Union trying to ensure that the spatial data infrastructures are going to be compatible. And this is done using the open standards from OSGeo and the community supporting it. So what has happened in the European Union is that the member states are encouraged to use free and open source software to implement those standards. And so we have the Inspire Geo portal, which is developed in open source software, and it's developed using two major projects of OSGeo, which are degree and open layers. As you can see a screenshot here. This is, I don't know if you have seen this interface before, but this is very common in web pages nowadays, besides other well-known map frameworks. So what happened next after Europe embracing the open source geospatial applications for the web? Then we had many open data portals also using the same technologies in order to promote and use spatial data on the web. And currently, the American data.gov website has moved to an open source project, which is the CCAN framework. And right now, the biggest data catalog in the world, with around 500,000 datasets, is maintained purely on open source geospatial software. So we are doing good in the geospatial world, and we are just trying to keep up with new opportunities. So I'm going to give you a small overview of the project categories that we have, and this does not only include OSGeo applications, but also other applications that are affiliated or are trying to get into incubation for OSGeo. First of all, we have spatial databases. The most commonly used and known is PostGIS, which is an extension to PostgreSQL. So this introduces a number of functions that are doing spatial functions that you can work with, and you can do spatial queries, and you can add location to your database. So it introduces some new data types of geometry type in order to make all this spatial information available. Next, we have SpatialLite, which is a SQLite extension, which also is being used to represent and store spatial data. The next category is around web services, and since we have many ODC standards on that area, we have a a great list of softwares around here. Most of them are about displaying maps through the web. Others are about making catalogs and search engines about where to find your data, what kind of places are around me, how can I find something related to spatial content. So the oldest one of those is Map Server, more than 15 years old, which is a project that brought maps to the web through CGI, which is a really old way of doing things. But it was the pioneer in that area. More recent softwares are GeoServer, which is developed since 2001, where somebody can just add data into the server and then make sure that this draw a map and then serve it to the users and include it into a website. There are other categories in the server, like proxying software that you can use to enable to cache the data that you are providing to the web and making sure that it runs smoothly and faster. Recently, we have some web processing services, which means that we are moving the data processing to the cloud, and now we can access and manipulate our data and edit and do cool stuff with it through the web and not only through a desktop application. Also, we have metadata catalogs, which is the search engines that are used for discovering data and finding where you can download data from, especially for open data. So the next category goes to the client. Is for web mapping that is working on your browser. And the most known projects for that, the two first, the Open Layers project and the Leaflet project, are used to integrate are JavaScript libraries to integrate maps into your application. This is the most well-known and used Open Layers JavaScript library. And Leaflet, in case you've seen the conference map, it's using Leaflet, and I had nothing to do with it. They just used it. They didn't ask me. So this is a rather new JavaScript library, which is very lightweight and can be easily deployed. But then we have social media that are now trying to incorporate maps. And one project that is very interesting is GeoNode. And this project is trying to make users try to share their data in a way similar to a social network. So this is a new project that everybody can deploy on their server and call users to share their data and their maps. And also we have extensions for very well-known projects like Drupal. And we have this project called Kartaro here, which is an add-on to Drupal, and you can just take any Drupal installation you have and add maps to it and just do cool stuff with your data through CMS platform. Then we move to desktop applications when we have the most success, the oldest of the software. GraphGIS was started 30 years ago. This is before GNU project even started, and this is a full-fledged GIS. You can edit your data. You can do spatial analysis. You can add satellite data and make all the kind of processing in order to accomplish a new map. More recently, QGIS is a full GIS platform that is developed on top of Qt, and this has lots of features that can be used again to create maps or to make spatial analysis of different kinds. Then we have projects that are more specific to your needs. For example, we have Mapnik. Mapnik is a rendering engine that is used to draw the maps of OpenStreetMap. I think most of you have seen OpenStreetMap and the free maps that are available through the web. And the rendering engine is Mapnik. And let's move on because I have so many projects I cannot focus to each one of them. So we have another category, which is navigation and maps. Here we have some OpenStreetMaps editors, which can be used in order to simple users contribute their data to the OpenStreetMap project. So you can actually download this software and then go to your area and create maps for your area, or you can just add your street name in there. You can add the numbering of the streets in your area and contribute back to the OpenStreetMap project. Next, we have a project that is part of KDE today, and you can find it in every openSUSE installation, which is Marble. And there is a presentation tomorrow about this, so I'm not going to spoil the presentation and talk much about it. This is a virtual globe with many applications, many features. I will not say any more about it. We have a very special category for crisis management, where we have two platforms, two web platforms that were used in the past during natural disasters. Those two platforms were used in cases of emergency in order to bring fast data to the civilians when needed. For example, when an earthquake or a flood takes place, you can easily go and say when you can find help. So these are platforms that are used in cases of emergency and have been deployed successfully in the past and have saved lives, actually. The final categories for the developers. We have several geospatial libraries that are used in order to develop the previous applications that I've shown, and much more libraries are included. I'm going to tell you later which of those applications are available in openSUSE. For example, GDAL, which is one of the most successful ones. Actually, you can just take any kind of data in any format and transform it into another format. So it's like something like the Swiss knife of geospatial for us. Now, OSGeo is making a demo DVD, which is a distribution that can be, all of these projects that I have mentioned and much more can be just tested through the OSGeo Live distribution. But now I'm going to move along with the application Geo Repository. So what is the OpenGeo, the application Geo Repository? It's a build service project, actually, but it has been around way long before the Open Build service was created. Actually, when I started using openSUSE back in 1998, there were already many RPM packages available for openSUSE that were not seen in other distributions. So for all the GIS specialists and professionals, openSUSE was the main platform for doing GIS work. So this repository is including any GIS. It includes GIS-related programs, datasets, and everything else related. We have software for GPS, so that you can use your GPS through your openSUSE installation. We have software about mapping and how to handle maps and display maps, and everything else that fits into this category. It includes 132 projects today as we speak. And as I said, it's one of the oldest and well-known repositories. And when OBS was introduced, this was a great boost for the way we were building our packages. And this enabled us to have more contributions. This enabled us to attract developers that wanted their package to be created not only for openSUSE, but also for other RPM distributions. And it was really a great boost to keeping updates working for everybody. So where we are doing well, very well, because all major stable releases of the software are really packaged within hours. And when I mean hours, I mean, okay, not 2 hours, but after a software gets out and it says, okay, we have a new release, within a day or two, you are going to find it in Application Geo. And this is something that is not done in other distributions. So we are trying to keep up the quality of the distribution and what GIS specialists expect from openSUSE. And I think we are doing well so far. We have many cases where new stable versions are available weeks before other packaging systems. And I have some examples here. And we also have some new projects that are missing from other distributions and other operating systems. For example, we have web processing service that can be deployed within minutes from an RPM from application Geo Repository. And many of the projects that I already mentioned. So what's the status today? Lots of green. We have few errors. We have things that don't break often unless something really major happens to factory or something like that. But in general, as you can see, it's mostly green. So we are in a good shape. But we have some problems, and the main problems are Java packaging. This is a very sad story because most open source geospatial software that use Java as the being developed in Java are using Maven. So we have difficulties in including and building code that when we have to be based on Maven. And that's a big packaging issue for us right now, which I hope we can solve with more Java experts helping us. We have a lack of a staging project, which means that we currently do not have a testing repository in order to get beta versions and release candidates in. So we need that tool in order to make sure that we have more bleeding edge packages. And okay, things are doing pretty well for openSUSE, but what about Slash and CentOS and Red Hat and other RPM-based packages? Those are not very well maintained, to be honest. So we need more manpower in there to make sure that those are also supported. And something that has been discussed today outside in the conference, that we have not contributed very much to factory, which is really something that we should make. We should try to make it more. We should just contribute more to factory so that we can get more packages in the distribution itself. So this is a screenshot of what happens when we see what's going on with CentOS and Red Hat and Slash. So as you can see, we have problems here. Some dependencies are missing. Some libraries are incompatible from previous versions. So this needs some work. So what's in it for the future? We wish to add more web platforms. Right now, Application Geo is mostly including desktop application, development libraries, but some of the well-known projects that are web-oriented are missing. So we are trying now to include GeoNode, CCAN, GeoServer, and projects that have been really used in the enterprise today, and we are trying to use them as well and create packages for them too. And we have a dream of creating an OSGeo Live flavor based on openSUSE, but that's something for the future. Thank you very much. We have any questions?
You said you have no staging project. Is there anything what you stops just to create one? Or
Sorry, can you repeat?
you said that you lack a staging project for the beta versions.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything what you stops to create just one?
No, it's just we need time and we need more time to do it. It's not that we have any problems implementing that. We just need to organize more. It's just that. It's just a suggestion, so. Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
I think we are
Thank you.
done.
Thank you.